Okay. Welcome again, Meerkat guys. Sorry for the disconnection. Apparently my phone cannot do Meerkat streaming and phone calls at the same time. I'm going to, basically, this is a webinar. I'm going to focus on the guys here on the webinar live with me. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Just comment them, type in the comments. And thank you for joining me in advance. And I'm just going to jump in here, guys. I want to welcome you guys to our weekly Lunch and Learn webinar. And we came up with a number of different names for this. If you guys have gotten some of the emails, one is how to double your new patients. And I think that once you see the information, you'll see why and how this is definitely doable and possible. And also another tagline can be, how is your front desk killing your business? Because in some cases, I think it can. In the vast majority, it's not killing a business, but there's definitely some opportunities for improvement. And I'm hoping that with this information, we can help you guys out and help your front desk out, because we love the front staff just as much as we love the doctors, and we want to make sure that all the reach and interest that we're generating as a marketing company and all the reach that you guys are doing involving with your marketing is becoming productive. So having said that, let's jump right in here. Again, for just best webinar results, guys, if you can, thank you for joining us, guys, on Meerkat. If you can, put away your cell phone, print out the workbook that we gave you. If you don't have it, you can always ask us either in the Q&A section or after the fact, and we'll mail it over to you. And write any questions down and make some decisions, like, how am I going to apply this? How am I going to put this into practice, in my practice? Because that's ultimately what's going to achieve the result, not me talking about it or you thinking that's a good idea. It's about how are we going to actually apply this to our practice, all right? So the first point here, the first slide, the picture we see here is a football game, and obviously it's, your front desk is really like your line of scrimmage. It's your first line, your first contact that your customers or potential customers are going to see. So it's extremely important to make sure that that first contact is a good one. Because if it's not a good one, they're going to call somebody else, So we really stress that first point of contact is a positive one, because that's going to set the tone not only for whether they give you an appointment or not, but also what happens after that appointment. And let's just ask the question, so when the call comes in, what happens? Does it become a goal, or does it get blocked? Does that reach turn into something valuable for both the patient and the doctor, or is it not? So that's an important consideration here. When the call comes in, are you guys, growing your business, or are you guys killing your business? And that's something that you have to consider. If you guys are doing the right things and you have a good script and you guys are converting lots of appointments, then your front desk and your whole office is actually going to be growing your business, because those incoming calls are going to turn into appointments. And I want to kind of take a couple of minutes here and a few slides, and I want to just kind of discuss, imagine if, kind of take you down the whole promotional product. I think everybody who's here on the webinar with me is doing some form of promotion, whether they're using us here at Galaxy or doing their own promotion. Just imagine for a second all the hours that you guys put into promoting your practice, right? You're spending hours on social media and blogs. You're spending a lot of time and energy, making all the posts, trying to build interaction. You're spending even more time and energy doing all the design work and starting things off and, getting the logo just right and the way things look just right, and getting your marketing strategy all developed and everything in place. And then even more time and even more energy going to community fairs and public events and community outreach things. Maybe you're doing some pro bono work or some charity work, and you're reaching out into the community, and you're spending a lot of time and energy doing that kind of stuff. And even further, you're spending a lot of money, either hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars on marketing campaigns designed to generate interest, to grab attention, and get people interested in wanting your service, right? So you're spending all that time and energy just to get people to do what? To give you a call. And then after all that time and effort, what happens? You track your analytics, and you can even see, is this creating an impact or not? And here I have a slide of a Google Analytics page, and you can see this particular person had 500 visits to his website. So you get all these visits and all this interaction and all this interest from your marketing and promotion, right? And all of that time and energy generates some kind of positive result. You can see that, it's having an effect, right? And then what happens? After all of that time, what happens? Then the person calls your office. And there's the moment of truth. They call your office. I'm going to move this picture out of the way here so you can see the picture. What happens when they call your office, guys? And that's the big moment of truth. What is going on? Well, the result can be good, it can be bad, or sometimes it can be ugly, unfortunately. The reality is, guys, what happens in that next 2 minutes, in that first phone call, can justify or destroy all of those efforts. And I want to let that sink in for a second. All that time, all that energy. If you have a marketing guy on staff, like Christine, I think is the marketing person in one of our offices here, you're spending all of that time and all of that energy just to generate that interest, and then the guy calls in. Now, what happens on that call could prove, was all that time and energy and money worth it? The fact of the matter is that call and how that call is handled is critical to your success. As a marketing company, my job is really to create interest and reach in the public for your services. So if you guys hire me to be a marketing company for you, and I do a campaign for you, then my job really ends, to be honest, when that person picks up the phone and calls you. If I send out a postcard, or if I do a Google AdWords campaign, or if I work on your search engine optimization, and I develop all this for you, and I've generated interest, and people start calling off that card or off the website, then me as a marketer, really my job has been accomplished, right? That's my product. But having said that, for doctors and business owners, their point is they don't care how much reach there is. They do, but what they care about is how many new customers or how many new patients they're getting. And that really is determined a lot of what I'm able to do in terms of the number of reach and the number of calls I can help generate by my marketing campaigns. But if those calls are not handled successfully and the doctor doesn't see the actual calls turning into new patients, then they're going to come back to me and say, hey, this campaign sucks. It's not working. I only got 5 new patients in, and I look at their calls, and they've got 50 calls into their office, and they only got 5 or 10 new patients from it. Well, the doctor's going to look at me and say that my campaign was not a success, when in reality, maybe I did my job to a large degree. So one of the reasons why I'm sharing a lot of this with you is because I want to make sure that that interest turns into actual appointments so that you guys can get some business, and that's the important thing. Now, what if, let's just say, we use this hypothetical example. So let's say you're getting 50 new patient calls in a month. Now, if you have a person that's really good, or your whole staff is very good at handling a particular reach or those incoming calls, you can expect to close about 50 to 70% of those things and make appointments. So if we're able to get 50 new patient calls into your office in a month, then if everything is being handled well, they'll convert about 25 to 30 or 40 even of those calls into appointments. However, if they're not handling those calls well, or there are certain things that they're not doing correctly or very at a high level, they may only convert 10 of those. Now that's obviously 30 to 40 patients that they could be getting but just aren't. And that's if you consider on a dental practice, every new patient's worth somewhere between $800 and $1,500 on the average on a yearly basis. You know, let's take $1,000. If you lose 20 new patients in a month because of improper phone call handling, you could actually be losing $2,000 every single month on just that one factor. That's a pretty $2,000. I mean, like, I'm sorry, 20 to be $20,000. $20,000 is a lot of money. That's a lot more than I'm getting paid and a lot more than any individual's getting paid, but that is really how much of a difference a really good, well-trained staff can be worth, a doctor or a practice. Now, is it just for the front desk? Is this just for the receptionist? And the answer is obviously no. This information is going to be able to be used by your receptionist, the office manager, the billing or insurance person, and even the doctors. There's times when the doctor's going to have to pick up that phone, and the doctor better be ready. So he better at least understand this. So I'm going to adjust the screen a little bit here. The doctor better be ready here, because if the doctor is not ready and they have to take that phone call, or if they're called in, they could lose that appointment just as easily as the receptionist or office manager can. Now, there's a couple of points here. Before I kind of get into the actual points here, I want to make a point that you have a specific product. When you're answering that phone, you have a particular product that you're going for, a particular goal. And that goal needs to be the actual appointment, setting that appointment. If it's somebody calling about a question about their appointment, okay, those questions come up. But if it's a new person calling in, or even an existing customer calling in, you want to make sure that they schedule that appointment. That's your goal. That's what you're going for. And anything less than that is maybe something that's a little bit not handled correctly, or even if it is, it's a lost opportunity. So if we have that in mind, like my job and my goal is to get this person to schedule an appointment with us, then I think that will change your mindset from I'm here to answer questions, I'm here to just make sure the phone calls are answered, right? And you'll start seeing a much bigger conversion rate just by having that goal in mind. And the next thing, the first point that you really have to have in, I think you may have seen it, is smile. It's very important to smile, even if it's a phone call. It sounds funny, but you need to be smiling when you answer that phone. And I kind of want to do a little bit of a drill here with you guys. Okay, I want you to first, and if you have people with you, great, in your office, or if you're just here on the call with me, I want you to actually practice your incoming call. Like if you have a pattern or a script that you use, hi, thank you for calling Dr. Smith's office, or whatever you guys would normally say when you answer the phone. I want you to first put a frown on your face. Like, actually, they create a frown, like, I'll get closer so you guys see. Like, put an actual frown on your face. And then I want you to greet the phone. I'll take a minute here. Go ahead and just with each other, or even just to yourself, just practice your greeting with a frown on your face. Go ahead and do that, guys. Did you guys do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys do it? I hear yeah. I'm hearing the tone. I hear the tone in your response.
Yeah.
Now, let's try it again. Now, this time before you say it, I want you to smile. Maybe put a big smile, just a big, happy, like, energetic smile on your face. And then give the exact same greeting, word for word if you can. Just go ahead and try that for a minute here. Put a big smile on your face and then greet the phone.
Hello.
Did you guys do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hearing giggling, I'm hearing laughing.
What a difference.
Did you guys experience the difference?
Yeah, we're tone scale pros over here.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that should give you, if it wasn't already ingrained in your approach, then hopefully that maybe opened up a little bit of an eye. You should definitely notice a difference. And if you're one of the other guys here in one of the other offices and you happen to be on the call by yourself, try this out when you're with your staff later on or whatever. When you get off the call, just practice that. Just have them do it with you and you do it with them, where you're actually you're practicing your call pattern with a frown on your face and then a big happy face and a big smile on your face.
Listen to this.
Hello? Hello? I had somebody, Dr. Bursch, I think, jumped on. Hi, Dr. Bursch. Pleasure to have you here. But like I was saying, practice this with your staff. Practice it with a frown on your face, like, hi, this is Doc, and I'll use my greeting here. Hi, this is Jim with Galaxy Marketing Solutions. How can I help you today? It's almost impossible to have an upbeat, friendly greeting if I have a smile on my face or if I'm mad at my coworker or whatever. Whereas if I practice that smile first, hi, thank you for calling Galaxy Marketing Solutions. This is Jim. Can I help you? It's a much more uptone, friendly, inviting, and warm kind of a greeting. People are going to pick up on it instantly, and that will set the tone for everything that happens in that call. So the very first thing, and one of the most important things, is smile as you're talking to people. It's not just when people come into your office that you need to be smiling. You need to be smiling when you pick up that phone and treat that person on the phone as that person's the most important person to you at that moment, and you just love hearing from them, like you're a friend kind of thing. That's the first thing. Make sure you have that smile on your face. A couple of other pointers I want to give you guys of things to keep in mind when you're answering the phones, okay, or when your staff are answering the phones. The first thing is get their contact information. This is critical. One of the things I see, and that is a major point, whether I'm cold calling people or just following up on new people that are reaching out to us for marketing, when I call that office, I'm hearing, doctor's office or hi, Dr. Smith's office, or thank you for calling Dr. Smith's office, can I help you? And they make no attempt to get my name or my phone number or any way to contact me. And this is a big, big mistake, guys. If you guys aren't doing this, then I guarantee you are losing at least half of your potential new business. And I'm not even exaggerating. At least half of your business, if you're not getting their contact information, is being wasted. And that means all the marketing and all the time and energy we talked about earlier that you're investing in promoting your business and your practice is being wasted too. Get their name first, and then try and get their phone number. Not everybody's going to give you their phone number or email address or whatever, but a lot of times they will. At least try to get that information if you can. Another very important point that you want to do and make sure you're doing, okay? Answer their questions. Don't avoid questions. There's certain ways you can answer questions, but don't just completely sideswipe their questions or not answer them. Try to answer their questions if you can. If you can't, at least say, hey, well, let me get your name and number, and I'll get the answer for you, and I'll get back to you, okay? It's very important not to just completely sidestep people's questions, because then they're kind of thinking, what's going on? Why aren't they answering me? It's kind of strange. The next point is kind of a sales point, is know what your product and service is. Be aware of what your services can do, what they can't do, where you fit into the market if you can. Do a little bit of research, like, hey, we're the highest dentist in the area, or maybe we're the most competent, or maybe we're in line. Have a good idea what products you provide and services you do and what you don't, and know a little bit about them so that you're not having to literally go to the office manager or the dentist every single time to get every question answered, because that will turn a lot of people off too if they feel like their staff doesn't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. So know a little bit about your product and service as well. If you can, try to respond to people's questions with yes. And I'll give you an example here. Do you take Aetna dental insurance? And let's say the answer happens to be no, and it's no. Now, I don't want you to lie, but instead of just saying, no, we don't take that insurance, try and get a little bit more information. For example, hey, do you take Aetna insurance? Well, we take a lot of insurance plans, and I have to find out if that specific plan is one of the things we carry. Now, what kinds of services are you looking for? Oh, I'm just looking to get a cleaning. Okay, well, we can definitely check into your insurance situation, but did you know we have a new patient special? For only $79, you can get a free evaluation, x-rays, and cleaning. And a lot of times it's less expensive to go that route than even going with your insurance. How about we get you scheduled for an evaluation, and then we can kind of take a look from there. Now, I responded there with a yes. I answered their question. I didn't necessarily sideswipe it entirely, but I also went right for the appointment. And hopefully that's a way that you guys can kind of handle that kind of thing. Always try to say yes. Don't try to, even if you have to say no, if the answer is definitely no, then don't start with no. Like, do you take Aetna insurance? No, we don't. Okay, that's a no, and that's going to kill that conversation. Whereas you might say, do you take Aetna insurance? Well, I don't believe we take Aetna insurance, but we do have quite a few other plans and other options available, and really we want to take a look and see if it's even something that would need insurance. Why don't we schedule an appointment and let you find out? Like,
We actually, we don't participate with any insurances, but when they call and they ask, we basically say we work with most insurance companies and we'll offer a complimentary benefits check on your first visit.
yeah.
So we take all of their insurance information when they come in for the exam. And the difference between the participating and non-participating is we don't accept a lower fee, but we still do all the insurance billing and, you know, for the most part, they get their same benefit.
Yeah.
But
And that's great, and that's exactly how you want to approach that. And when you're answering the phone and fielding those questions, you know, as long as you're giving a similar type answer to the one you just described, or maybe, you know, obviously every office is different. I'm giving kind of a general idea of how you would field that type of question. You know, but the point is you don't want to just say no and just shut off that conversation. I'll give you kind of a funny example, guys. We did a postcard campaign that had a new patient special on the postcard, and I was listening to a phone call that came in off of one of the tracking numbers for this, and the guy, you know, the person answering the phone said, "How did you hear about us?" I said, "Oh, I have your postcard here. I was interested in this new patient cleaning special you have here on the postcard. Do you take," I think it was Blue Cross Dental, I forget what the name of the dental insurance was. And the receptionist said, "No, we don't take Blue Cross." The guy said, "Oh, okay, well, thank you." Well, the guy was calling in for the new patient special. The guy wasn't even really worried about insurance, you know. I mean, he asked the question, sure, but the whole reason why he called was he got the new patient special. So the receptionist could have just said, "Well, you know what, let's take care of your cleaning and see what you need, and then we'll kind of work with your insurance to find out, you know, the best treatment option if you need something further." That was an easy appointment that unfortunately this person just blew, just completely didn't get the appointment where they should have had it, and it would have been an easy close for them. So always try to respond with yes is kind of the point we're getting at here. And as you're going along, you want to build rapport. You know, if you're getting this person's information, you know, try to ask questions about them. Like, I was asking questions before the webinar started, like, hey, where you guys are from, how's the weather over there? I mean, it sounds trite, but it really is kind of important. Like, you know, how many kids do you have? You know, how is it going? Have that personal conversation with people and train your guys, even as you're answering questions, to try to get to know them a little bit and saying, hey, you know, how'd you hear about us? Oh, you got our postcard. That's great. It's good to hear that you got it. You know, how's the family? You know, what are you looking to do, et cetera. And we'll kind of go in and drill this a little bit later here. But building rapport is especially important because you want to make that connection personal. And the more you can do that, the more people are just going to fall right into scheduling that appointment and getting it started. And the last thing is probably more in relation to price shoppers, is build value. You'll get a lot of calls of people saying, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? And you don't not answer their question, but you might say, like, how much is a crown? Well, you know what? Crowns vary quite a bit. You know, it depends on the type of crown, the actual service you need, what other work needs to be done. Why don't we get you scheduled for an appointment, and we'll do an evaluation, and then we can kind of go over what options you have. Or if you need to build value, it might be, well, you know, our services, if they press it, well, our services run between $800 and $1,000 for a crown, you know, if that's the correct number. But in the reality is a lot more goes into our crowns. We make sure it fits right the first time so you don't have multiple visits. We take great care to make sure everything is perfect. We educate you on the different materials that are available to you, and we want to make sure that what service you get is the right service for you so you're not having to get it done a year later. Right there, those are the types of things that are building value. So if I know my products and services are higher compared to other dentists in the area or other practitioners, then I'm able to build value and give people a reason why they should choose me, the more expensive option, than a cheaper guy. And then there's some don'ts here. Let's look at some don'ts, things you shouldn't do or your front desk shouldn't do as they're answering that call. Number one, don't get into a lengthy question and answer session. And I hear this sometimes. You don't want to be on the phone for 10, 15 minutes just going back and forth answering all these questions. The question and answer period should be done at the point of consultation when the doctor has had a chance to do his exam, do the x-rays, see what the actual situation is, and then make his expert opinion and give that to the person, like, this is what is actually needed, and here are your options. A lot of times I'll be listening to phone calls and I'll hear questions like, well, I have this pain in my tooth and I think I might need a filling or a crown, but I don't have that much money, and do you take this insurance, and how much is it, and how long is it going to take, and how much is my gums going to bleed? Literally, the guy's asking like 5, 10, 15 questions on the phone, and this receptionist is just sitting there answering questions and even asking if he's got any other questions. That's not the whole point, guys. You want to get them into the appointment and let the professional, who is the doctor or the dentist, or even the person who's doing the treatment coordination, handle all of those questions, because they're the ones, number one, who are qualified, but number two, they're going to be in much better position of authority that they're going to be able to let people know, hey, you have these different options, okay? And we'll get into kind of a little bit of a drill and kind of explain the do's and don'ts here about this. Another thing is, again, I brought this up before, don't answer immediately with no. No will shut off a conversation. Do I have to bring this postcard in with me? Or can I get this new patient special even if I don't have the postcard that I saw it on, a couple months ago? Oh, no, you have to have the postcard. Yeah. What's the person going to do? They're going to, okay, thanks, click, and then they're going to call the next guy, right? Why wouldn't you give the special? Why wouldn't you help this guy out? Why wouldn't you try and get him in for an appointment and then have a conversation with him? People are much less willing to walk out of your office once they've made it there than they would be just hanging up the phone. Don't talk about pricing if you can help it. If people are real insistent, then yeah, tell them pricing. But don't immediately say, how much is a crown? Well, a crown is $1,000. People hear a big number like that, and they immediately go, oh, I don't have $1,000. I'll call you back, or I'll call somebody else that can do it for $800. Don't talk about prices. If somebody asks, well, what's the price of a crown? Come back with, well, there's a big range of crowns depending on a lot of different factors. Why don't you come in for a free exam, and we'll take a look at your situation, and then we'll give you your options and go from there. That way, you have the doctor giving prices and giving options, and the person's already in your office at that point. I hear a lot of receptionists, as I go through some of these calls, immediately give out prices like, oh, it's going to be about $1,500 to fix your issue. A lot of times, the guy may not even need that. One doctor may say, hey, you need an implant, and you need an extraction, and you need X, Y, and Z, you need 15 different things, when your doctor may say, you really only need one thing. So that giving that pricing isn't going to help the guy. Don't ever outwardly lie to them. If the guy says, do you accept this particular insurance company, and you know you don't, and they're insistent, like, I need to know, you know what, sir, we don't accept that insurance, but we do have other options. We'd like to get you in for an appointment. If they still hang up, well, they weren't going to be your customer anyway, unfortunately. Never treat people rudely, guys. I don't care if somebody's just on the phone yelling at you, screaming at you, everything else. Always be courteous. Always be polite. wow, this always happens to me. I'm like, hey, you know what, sir? I'm sorry you had a bad experience. Let me see what we can do to help you. Try to keep them on a positive, because that'll turn people around, and people feel silly being rude to people if the other person's being really nice. And the last thing is, I see this a lot too, don't leave people on hold. You should not leave a person on hold more than 20 to 30 seconds. If you have a question that you need answered, and you can't get it answered in 20 to 30 seconds, then you should get back on the phone with that guy and say, hey, you know what, sir, the office manager or the doctor is all tied up right now. I don't want to leave you on hold. Let me get your name and number, and I'll get the answer, and I'll call you right back. And then if they say, you know what, I don't want to call back, I just want to hold, okay, then you can leave them on hold. But at least you've given them that customer service that lets them know that their time is important. And that'll go a long way in terms of getting people to get appointments and doing business with you. So let's drill a little bit, guys. Why don't you guys give me a call. We'll do maybe one drill here, and just give me a call. You're the customer, I'm the person that answers, and we'll see if I can kind of give you how this would roll out.
Well, we're a specialty office, so we don't do general dentistry.
Okay. So you would orthodontics, right? So.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, you be a person that a dentist referred to you, and I'll be the handling it.
I'm the person I'm the office, or you are?
I'll be the office, just to give you an example. Or actually,
okay.
Let's do it this way. I'll call in, like, hi, I give you the person, so I call into Dr. Shaw's office, and you answer the phone.
So I'm the office?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Shaw and Jane's office, this is Roxy. How may I help you?
Hi, Roxy. I wanted to see if you guys did Invisalign.
Absolutely. Our doctors do Invisalign, and we have wonderful results. How did you hear about our office?
Dr. Smith referred me over to you guys. He said that you guys did good work, so.
Okay, we do see a lot of Dr. Smith's patients. Would you be looking for something in the morning or afternoon?
I'm not sure yet. How much is the Invisalign procedure?
Okay, well, each procedure is different in the cost. It goes off the severity of your case, and what we can do is set you up for a complimentary consultation, and the doctor will go over all of those details with you.
Okay.
So I have available as soon as tomorrow, if you could come tomorrow.
Tomorrow doesn't work. How about Wednesday, next Wednesday?
Wednesday, would you prefer morning or afternoon?
Morning. Anyway, so good job. That was great. Very good. The only thing I would maybe do a little differently is, again, trying to get the person's name and phone number if you can. But otherwise, that was a really great way to handle it. You did a great job. Pretty much everything was in. You guys were on point, went for the appointment, answered the question, answered it very well. You didn't answer the price question that would immediately turn me off, and you got the appointment. So very well done.
Thank you.
Very well done. For the rest of you guys listening in, hopefully you guys have similar things happening. If not, then that's something we can definitely use some of these points I've mentioned to help your front office and even yourselves handle some of these things really well. You'll get a lot more appointments. Some of the main points here, again, answer the phone quickly. Don't leave them ringing 6, 7, 10 times. Again, try to get their contact information, at least their name, so it builds that rapport with their personal name. If you can get their phone number, great. Again, that way, just in case something happens, or even if you don't get the appointment, if you have their phone number, maybe you can call back a day or two later and just follow up and say, hey, I heard you called our office. Is there anything we can do to help you? You still might be able to salvage something that didn't close right on the first shot. And then, like I said, just have that idea in mind that you're going to get that person to sign up for the appointment. Another thing I'm going to kind of go over, I'm going to be probably pretty quick on this one, is what really affects the overall customer service experience and whether you're going to get a lot of referrals and a lot of new business and a lot of repeat business is how well your office chemistry is. If you have a good office chemistry and the people get along, then you're going to see a lot of business. The picture I have here on the slide is one of our customers, Dr. Adelberg. He and his staff get along great. They're always smiling. At a very friendly place. You can see in the background they're a pediatric dentist. You see in the background there's a very friendly type of an atmosphere, very kid-friendly, so the kids have fun there. If you and your staff can have fun and have a good chemistry going, then they're going to be smiling and they're going to be upbeat and uptone. And, you know, when people come in there, they're going to be happy. They're going to be like, wow, you know, they're going to enjoy being there. They're not going to be like, oh, my God, I go to the dentist or I got to go to the orthodontist, and it's going to be a painful thing, and I hate the guys there because they never smile. And, you know, these are all parts of the things you want to have in, is have that smile and have those, you know, have that positive, you know, effect that you have going on. Another thing is consider if you have a happy atmosphere and happy coworkers, then you'll end up having happy customers. Another thing to consider, guys, is how does your office look and feel? What are they walking into? When they walk into your office, do they walk into a messy or maybe overly clinical and like real stark? You know, I always say, are they walking into like a one flew over the cuckoo's nest kind of environment, or is it warm and inviting? And, you know, does it smell bad, or does it maybe have a real nice smell like a Glade or something like that? Really treat your front reception area as if it's like the foyer of your home, because it really is. You want to welcome people in. That's like the second point, you know, once they've made that appointment, is you want them to feel welcome when they come in. And as an example, I have another one of our doctors here. This is Dr. Walden Yu. He's another pediatric dentist, and this is actually on his postcard that we did, but this is actually a picture of his office. And as you can see, you know, it's a very friendly, kid-friendly, welcoming, fun type of a place. You know, kids walk in there and they're not afraid of the dentist or worried about what's going to happen. They're like, oh my God, this is a fun place, we can play, you know. And parents love bringing their kids to this dentist because they know that their kids are going to have fun and get their teeth cleaned and get it handled. It's not going to be like some painful thing, you know, that they have to worry about if their kids are going to hate the dentist.
Yeah, I remember. So do you think that? What do you think that was around Christmas?
So you got basically, you know, Dr. Yu does a great job of making it very kid-friendly. And another example here, this is a nice example of an office here that's maybe more for adults, more contemporary. But you see here the seats here are all cushioned. They're nice, comfy, big chairs. You know, they're not the folding chairs or the real uncomfortable, rigid chairs. It's a nice, clean, warm, and friendly environment with nice, comfortable seating. So people will like actually being there. They won't mind being in this front office as they have to wait. So now the question kind of becomes, now what? So we've given you all the information here of what to do and what not to do. And now, you know, we've done some drilling here. You kind of see what works, and we see what we need to do to improve staff performance. And yeah, Front Office Rocks is basically, she's had this for about 3 years. It's a series of videos. There's dozens and dozens of videos as part of this program, and it basically goes through everything from the receptionist and all the different ways the receptionist should be handling things, how to handle scheduling, how to handle finances and insurance, you know, what the doctors can be doing to improve their bedside manner. It's an incredible program. Again, we've got a lot of the information from this webinar from that program, so it definitely works. The people that we know that use this and our clients who use this swear by it. For those of you who can make it, she does live seminars as well. Her next live seminar, if you're in the Tampa or Clearwater area, is going to be here in Tampa Bay on the 29th. So if you can make it, I would highly recommend doing this one-day seminar with her. And if you can, definitely show up and do that. She does them around the country as well. But if you can't make it all the way here to Tampa, then definitely I recommend signing up for her system. You can ask us, and we can give you the link, and we'll be happy to give you the correct information. So, and it's in the workbook too, the information on that. So you should be able to find it there as well. Again, we kind of go over everything from answering the phones to the office manager, creating that happy environment, how to handle insurance, you know, what the doctor should be doing, et cetera. So these are all very, very important things. I want you guys to take a second and imagine if each call, incoming call, results in scheduling an appointment. Or if it doesn't do an appointment, at least it results in building a relationship so that the next time they call, they schedule an appointment at that point. The fact of the matter is you're going to get price shoppers every now and then, but maybe they shop around and they decide to call you back because you had a good approach, you answered their questions, and they were happy with the way you handled it. And really, we can help you with that. Beyond just, if you need the Front Office Rocks program, email me or give me a call, and I'd be happy to send you a link where you can sign up for that. Again, it's done through Laura Hatch, not so much directly through us. And the other thing we could do is we have a special service. It's a tracking phone number that we do. A special phone number that we create for you that you can put on your promotional materials that it does several things for you. It records incoming calls, and then it routes them to your direct office, but it will record the calls for you. So if you're not there standing over the receptionist or whoever's shoulder to make sure they're doing a good job, you can come back and log in. It gives you a 24/7 login that you can come back on your lunch hour or another time that's more convenient. Listen to some of the calls, make sure that they're going well, making sure you're getting those appointments done, and give pointers, saying, hey, it looks like you handled it this way, maybe you can try handling it this way, and you can really train your staff and improve the way you guys are handling stuff. The other thing we provide with this service is a monthly quality check. One of our employees here at Galaxy monitors these phone calls for our customers, and we will actually go through if they're handling great, we just send you an email saying, hey, your reception or your front office is handling the incoming calls great. Sounds like you're getting a lot of new patients. That's a good job. If it's something that needs to be handled or we have a recommendation for you, we then email you recommending suggestions for improvement. So that way you're getting a professional sort of third-party opinion that's not just people within your office. It's actually somebody outside of your office who can give a legitimate, unbiased opinion of how something is going and what you can do to improve it. All of this together will help you book more appointments. I've already kind of mentioned what it is. And what we do is we charge $60 a month for this phone service, or you can get a whole year for $600. It's a great service. Literally, if you get one single new patient that you weren't getting before from this call-in service, it pays for the entire year of the service. So it's an incredibly good deal. I hope that you guys will take us up on it. I hope you guys will, if you haven't already signed up for a tracking number, that you take advantage of it. Give me a call or email me. I'll be happy to set you up with it. It's a great service, and it's worth its weight in gold. It really is. And that's about all we got today. You guys have any questions?
Actually, I had a question.
Sure.
Our office did the whole Scheduling Institute training for phone answering. Are you familiar with their services?
The Training Institute?
Yeah, the Scheduling Institute.
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, I was just curious.
You bought them?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that the Laura Hatch one or our service here is the only one out there. I'm not familiar with that particular one. That doesn't mean I'm not sure. But, that's another service that's out there. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
That's hilarious.
No?
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end the seminar now. I really appreciate everybody joining us today. Thank you very much. Hopefully, with this information, you can go out there and double your new patients. If not, then give me a call and we'll find out some other ways we can help you.